Social media world, what's going on? Social media universe, here we are. So, the president of the United States says that the people want their freedom back. They want to be free. They want their freedom back. I'm just gonna say what I gotta say, free flowing, whatever. First thing that comes to mind, and this is just me talking. This is just me talking, and it's what it is. It seems there's so many different agendas and moving parts to the situation. You can actually get lost in trying to make sense out of all this. Moving part, like, you want the people want their freedom back. This is what he's saying. I I understand that, and I do not disagree with that at all. I don't disagree with that. It just something else is going on, people that they know about, that they just don't want us to know about. Like I said, someone always knows. When you hear people say to you that they don't know about something, trust and believe there are those who do know. You know, people can't handle the truth. People can't handle the truth. So when you hear, especially on things like on television and certain media outlets, okay, there's a spin. They spin information. They twist the narrative, okay, to help things sort of like mold or change the information. Like, they just will give you some information to make you believe whatever it is that they want you to believe. So the president is saying that it just rings so many different bells. So many different bells, because one argument, which he is talking about reopening the country, and then when the opposing view is, why reopen if we're not ready to reopen? This thing about testing. This is this new thing now, right? This is part of the new normal that I'm watching these personalities, these actors, political actors on TV, talking about testing, 3 times now. Pay attention, people. Pay attention. You're gonna see hashtag testing, right? Folks are just gonna say that a lot now to get you in, sort of like used to, and program and condition you to hearing it, so it becomes part of your everyday norm. This is what this is about. This talk with testing, and it is, there's so many things that are attached to that, so many aspects to this testing that just, it pretty much, I think it goes against what he wants for the American people, and that's to be free. Because testing doesn't necessarily, I don't believe it necessarily speaks to people being free. Of course, you want to test yourself if you're not feeling well. That makes sense. If you're not feeling well, yes, you need to go get examined by a medical professional. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. But right now, at this point, there's something that's being done, especially right here in New York. I'm always speaking a certain way because I'm here doing this thing. I'm not sitting at home either. Like, this is like real. So the message we're hearing on the ground is about testing. It's about social distancing. It's about staying at home. It's about wearing a mask. It's about reducing risk. It's about minimizing the spread. It's about also being aware that there's this inflammatory disease that's affecting children now. People are dying by the day. This is just gonna take a long time to recover. The city and the states when the state will have to reopen in phases. It's going to be real slow. What's it going to take? What's going to happen if you reopen too soon and you get sick all over again? Now you're going to have to get tested. You're going to have to get your temperature taken. Should you come out positive, you have to do contact tracing. And if you're positive, you'll have to be removed from your home, adult and or child, separated. But he's talking about, in this case, freedom. Because does that sound like does this sound like anything remotely close to being free? About these safeguards that they're putting in under the guise of, fighting an invisible beast. It's just, it's very telling when the president really hasn't been one to hold his tongue. He hasn't been. I'm not, 100% pro Trump or not. I'm just here. I just have an independent stance, like position or whatever. I'm watching things. I'm trying to think critically. I'm trying to really think critically. He's saying that the country needs to reopen. You have the head of the Federal Reserve, James Powell, who's saying that if this country doesn't open, the effects can be long-term and disastrous. You have people who really who identify depression as a period where there's, an indicator of a Great Depression is if there are double-digit levels of unemployment for up to 12 months. Right now, there's double-digit numbers. For the past 2 weeks, it's already reached double digits. So we're, in a sense, in the precursor to the Great Depression. We're living, today is the start of the Great Depression, if you want to call it, without playing words and semantics. This is what it is. This is what it is. And Trump is one who's not accepting of that, even though this is what's going on. He's never worn a mask, even though this is what's going on. Hydroxychloroquine, and nornorin, he's talked about and been criticized about. He did make a huge disastrous mistake by talking about having people ingest freaking disinfectant and bleach to possibly kill the virus in the lungs. That was just the dumbest shit he probably said this year. Facts. That's why he had to walk around with his head down for a couple of days and not appear for a briefing soon after, for a press briefing. But the man is just moving in a way where it seems like it's going against a certain agenda. This is what I'm saying. Like, there's people who really, whether it's for election purposes or whatever, I'm watching this and I'm like, I'm hearing the people from, the right say, no, the left, say, yes, we have to reopen, but we have to reopen safely, and yes, and this and that, and this is why we need to put money into the hands of the American people. I don't see what Congress is doing right now. This is what the Federal Reserve Chairman was telling. He was just saying government has to do something now because the feds can't cut checks. The feds receive taxes and spend. They can't cut checks when the people need money because everything is at a standstill. How's the country even accumulating taxes? The rate of the amount of taxes that they're receiving is very little. There's not enough revenue. Why? Because the businesses and the jobs are lost. Not lost, but they're closed, they're shut down. And some have literally lost their jobs. So yeah, many jobs have been lost, and unemployment right now is at 36.6 officially. Well, according to Department of Labor, and those numbers inaccurate in my view, in my opinion, for whatever that's worth. There is no freedom right now. We're told to, technically, really, can the state really stop us if we said no? Can the state really stop us if we said no? We're not accepting this. We're gonna go outside. We're gonna live our lives. But then the flip side to that, are we putting ourselves at risk? Are we really putting ourselves at risk? Because the social distancing gets violated all the time. It gets violated all the time. I'll give you an example how the social distance rule right now gets violated all of the time. For example, on the bus, you have what, 50 seats on the bus? When you have 30 people riding that bus, where's the social distancing being practiced? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. People are afraid. People are fearful, and but for what exactly? Some of the immediate needs, such as paying bills, being able to eat, being able to pay for a roof over their head, something. Like those are real things. Really, people are afraid for real things too, But it's about the freedom or lack of. It's true. Being able to just do what you want to do. People, we can't now. Like, we're told we can't. In essence, we really can, but we choosing not to for whatever reasons, because we want to just, I guess not. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. Who wants to willingly go and get tested at this point? This is what I've been saying. This is why it's going to get to a point where before you can even go back to work, you're going to be told you have to take a test now. Where's the freedom in that? I understand it's about preservation of life. It's about keeping your neighbor from being sick. I get that, but there's something that's attached to it. Where do we just pull a blind eye and say, no, forget my freedom today. This is about the greater good. Forget it. I don't want to be, I don't understand. And then if you let that go, how many other things are they going to take away? How long are they going to prolong this? Like, if you're going to shut something down, you should have just shut it down for what if it's headed to martial law, then make it happen then. So then anything and everything that needs to get done could get done, and then we move forward. If not, what's the deal? What's the deal? The president is the president for a reason. The president will always be a president, whether we like it or not. Even after his term, or possibly terms, he'll always be known as a president of the United States. However we like him is whatever. This is not about what we like it or not. This is what's going on here. This is what's going on. He has this this religious thing going on too that I'm noticing. Like, he knows things that he just can't. He gets caught up in his own emotions and distractions with media. He's like the Twitter god. So when he mentioned that, maybe, the country can open on Easter, I mean, it just, that said shockwaves. What's Easter about for him? Like, I mean, well, we, those who practice know and understand, but, it was like on this religious day, why all of a sudden, you pick that day and this and that? What's the connotation? What's going on here? He professes to be Christian, The powers that be are not in favor of his moves and his decision making and what he's doing. This is a president who was impeached, although not removed from office, but he was impeached. What's the what? Is this a concerted effort to overthrow him, but at the price of many lives being lost? You know what I mean? Like, at the price of many lives being lost. What are we doing here? The man sits down. He's in a defensive mode 24/7. I understand he declared that this was a wartime. He's in wartime, so but he also moves like, you could see it's just like, man, there's only so much he can take on a day-to-day. But he's the president. He has to bear with it. This is what he signed up for, so he has to deal with it. But you could see it's just it's constant conflict, Was this a plan for, other world leaders to try to oust him, pull the rug from under his feet and embarrass him during an election year? He doesn't want to look bad. Possibly there'll be a bill on the table tomorrow, pushed by the House of Representatives. Now the Senate is going to have to debate on it or do whatever. But the House wants more money for the people, more money for testing. etc., etc. Republicans want more money for corporations and protection so they don't have to get sued from, employees who come in possibly and might get sick. So it's just like, I don't understand some of this. Just is this a bunch of like a hodgepodge of just egos? This can't just be about a person's ego and power. It can't just be about somebody's ego and power and whether they want to be right or wrong and who has the most control, who yields the most authority. What are we talking about? Yeah, the people want their freedom. We do want our freedom. And I think if it continues a certain way, this is why I talk about certain things, and it's not really popular, but it's true with terms of revolution. In terms of revolution, like people is going to head to a level where there will be some type of civil unrest at some point, because this is crazy. He may say, freedom and et cetera, but at the same time, sometimes I feel like he's just not connected to what's going on, like from the bottom level perspective. But yeah, I get it. He's up there, he's running the country, he has a lot to deal with. He wants to leave all the responsibilities on the back of the governors who are doing whatever they're doing, willy-nilly, and pointing fingers back up to the president, trying to get it together, but don't seem to know what the hell is going on. Can't be upfront with their quote-unquote constituents. States are opening up and then infections are rising in states like Wisconsin, Texas, even Georgia. The Georgia peach, I've seen a rise in infections. I believe Indiana's opening too, and these other states. Kentucky is seeing a rise. Right, while the northern states, northeast, like New York City, is seeing a decline, but we're nowhere near ready to open up, quote unquote. Nowhere near. What kind of climate do you think that's going to create? Like the temperature, the pressure is reaching a boiling point. It's reaching a boiling point where some stuff is about to explode. It really is. The shit's about to hit the fan. It's really about to hit the fan. But, you reduce the hypnotic intake from social media. It's just when you catch a couple nuggets and you put certain things together, it will probably make clearer sense. That's all I'm trying to say. The man said the people want freedom. And wow. The doctors are saying, well, it's about science. Freedom versus it's about science. So it's about science. So suffer, lose some freedom. So you could lose some freedom today or for now. So you could be freer tomorrow. When this is over, what's the cost? What's the price? Your health? What do you want? You want to get sick, or you want to stay home? You want to get sick, or you want to be smart and stay home, or do you want to be free and get sick? Like, that's the argument. It's just weird. I'm out.